Ferrari returns from a long summer break, ready to face an intriguing and potentially pivotal weekend in the 2025 Formula One season. After several weeks without racing, the Scuderia approaches the Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort with renewed focus and an updated car package, aiming to capitalize on the improvements made before the summer hiatus. In Belgium, Ferrari introduced its new rear suspension system, which includes revised anti-squat and anti-lift settings specifically designed to provide better dynamic control of ride heights across the full range of track conditions. These updates are intended to improve the car's handling characteristics, particularly in transitions between high-speed straights and medium-speed corners, giving drivers more confidence and stability throughout the lap. Despite these technical improvements, Ferrari is still carrying the memories of the Hungarian Grand Prix, which presented a weekend filled with both promising moments and some concerning challenges. On one hand, the Maranello team demonstrated significant competitiveness on a track that suited the characteristics of the SF-25, their current 2025 car. On the other hand, a few lingering issues remain unresolved, creating a sense of cautious optimism for engineers and drivers alike. Some of these challenges have not been fully understood, leaving certain aspects of the car's performance still shrouded in mystery, which means the team will have to approach Zandvoort with both careful preparation and adaptability. From a purely technical standpoint, the Netherlands presents several complex challenges for the Scuderia, requiring careful consideration of both aerodynamic and mechanical aspects of the SF-25. The Zandvoort circuit is unique in that it is predominantly composed of medium and low-speed corners, demanding a high level of precision from the car's balance and responsiveness. In the intermediate speed sections, achieving the optimal combination of mechanical grip from the tires and aerodynamic efficiency from the car's floor, diffuser, and rear wing becomes absolutely crucial. Engineers must ensure that the car's floor and underbody generate consistent downforce without compromising stability, as this directly affects tire load distribution and the overall ability of the SF-25 to rotate effectively through corners. Overall, Zandvoort requires a relatively high level of downforce, despite the asphalt offering a lower-than-average level of grip compared to other circuits on the calendar. This combination makes the Dutch track a unique challenge, testing both the car's setup and the skill of the drivers. The first key factor to unlocking competitive performance at Zandvoort will be the careful selection of the car setup. Looking back to the 2024 season, the SF-24, Ferrari's previous car, struggled with a lack of rotation, a trait that was particularly noticeable in slower corners and tight hairpins. This characteristic, unfortunately, is still partially present in the current SF-25, although the updated rear suspension should mitigate some of the issues. This makes it even more important for Ferrari to focus on protecting the front end of the car and reducing understeer, especially on a track like Zandvoort, which tends to put more stress on the front axle due to its frequent medium and low-speed corners. However, it should also be noted that the distinction between front and rear axle performance is not as clear-cut here as on some other tracks, meaning that engineers must manage the car's overall balance holistically, rather than focusing solely on one end. The Italian car could potentially encounter more difficulties at Zandvoort compared to other circuits, especially if the setup is not perfectly optimized. Nonetheless, the recent suspension modifications have expanded the SF-25's operational window, giving the team more flexibility to adapt the car to the unique characteristics of the Dutch track. Ferrari engineers are confident that these improvements will allow them to make more effective use of the floor and diffuser, ensuring that the car maintains stability and consistent downforce even through the track's sweeping corners and subtle elevation changes. The smoothness of Zandvoort's asphalt, combined with the absence of significant bumps or irregularities, should allow the SF-25 to perform at its best in terms of ride height management and overall balance. Ultimately, the challenge for Ferrari will be finding the optimal compromise between multiple variables, including aerodynamic efficiency, mechanical grip, suspension stiffness, and tire management. Zandvoort's corners do not exhibit wide variations in speed. The speed spectrum across the track is relatively narrow, meaning that there are no extreme high-speed sections followed by very slow corners in rapid succession. This consistency should help Ferrari in their efforts to find the right balance, as it allows the engineers to fine-tune the car with fewer extreme compromises. The predictability of cornering speeds provides a valuable opportunity for the Scuderia to maximize performance without excessively stressing any one component of the car. Several slower corners on the track are expected to favor the SF-25's characteristics, potentially allowing the car to demonstrate strong traction and precise handling. However, as is always the case in Formula One, the ultimate performance outcome will depend heavily on the choice of stiffness and balance across the suspension, as well as how well the aerodynamic package complements the mechanical setup. Engineers and drivers must carefully weigh the positive and negative variables to achieve the best possible lap times. Reducing understeer will remain a particularly demanding task, and it is expected to be one of the most significant technical challenges of the weekend, testing both the team's setup decisions and the driver's ability to adapt to the car's behavior in different sections of the track. Another decisive factor that will influence Ferrari's performance at the Dutch Grand Prix involves tire management, both in qualifying and during longer race stints. The narrow and technically demanding nature of Zandvoort means that qualifying will play an even more critical role than usual, placing added importance on achieving optimal tire temperature and grip during single-lap efforts. Pirelli has classified this Grand Prix as highly demanding for tires, noting that the limited opportunities for cooling, combined with the generally low-grip asphalt and the high downforce requirements, place significant stress on the compounds. There are very few sections of the track where the tires can naturally cool, meaning that drivers must carefully manage their pace to avoid overheating, particularly in fast-flowing corners where tire load is high. The asphalt is not only low in grip, but also tends to accumulate debris and dust, adding another layer of complexity to tire management. The combination of narrow track width, high aerodynamic demands, and challenging surface conditions increases the overall difficulty in maintaining consistent tire performance throughout a stint. These factors will require careful attention from both the drivers and the engineers, particularly during the first laps after a pit stop or at the start of qualifying runs. While McLaren with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri may have a relative advantage in managing these compounds under specific circumstances, Ferrari has historically demonstrated resilience in hot conditions, as seen during the Budapest Grand Prix earlier in the season. In that race, the team was able to maintain strong tire performance despite the challenging heat, and similar results are expected at Zandvoort. Proper management of tire temperatures and degradation will be critical, allowing drivers such as Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton to extract the maximum performance from the car over both short and long runs. Despite improvements, Ferrari's primary challenge will likely remain achieving the correct operating window at the start of each flying lap. If the tires are not fully in their ideal temperature range, the SF-25 may struggle in the opening corners, particularly the tight and medium-speed turns that define the first sector of the track. Additionally, in Sector 3, the tires are prone to overheating, a condition that will affect all drivers to varying degrees. This is precisely where Ferrari hopes to make a difference. By optimizing their car setup, tire management strategy, and driver input, they aim to gain small but crucial advantages in lap time that can accumulate over the course of qualifying and the race. Overall, Ferrari approaches the Dutch Grand Prix with cautious optimism. The combination of a smoother track surface, recent suspension improvements, and the Maranello team's experience in tire management provides a solid foundation for competitive performance. The SF-25 has the potential to show strong results if the engineers and drivers can fully exploit these advantages while minimizing understeer and maintaining consistent tire performance. The challenge will be to integrate all these variables effectively, balancing aerodynamic efficiency, mechanical grip, tire temperatures, and suspension behavior, ensuring that Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton can extract the maximum from the car in every phase of the weekend. Zandvoort, with its sweeping curves, subtle elevation changes, and technical demands, remains a unique test for the Italian side. The narrow track amplifies the consequences of setup decisions, making every adjustment in suspension, tire pressure, and aerodynamic configuration critical. With careful preparation and attention to detail, Ferrari aims to reduce the SF-25's tendency to understeer while maintaining high overall performance. If the team succeeds, they could turn Zandvoort into a track that highlights the strengths of their car, setting themselves up for a strong finish in both qualifying and the race.